These 5 common foods become toxic when reheated and may lead to cancer or dementia. Doctors warn that Reheating. Have you ever come home after a long, exhausting day, opened the fridge, pulled out some leftovers and tossed them into the microwave without a second thought? Of course you have. We all do it. It's convenient. It saves time. And let's be honest, who has the energy to cook from scratch every single day? But what if I told you that this harmless little habit might be slowly poisoning you? No joke, I'm dead serious. There are common foods we all eat, foods you probably have in your fridge right now that become toxic when you reheat them. And I'm not talking about just a mild stomachache here. I'm talking about real serious consequences. Things like cancer, neurological damage, even an increased risk of dementia. Yes, dementia. And I know that sounds shocking. I know it sounds dramatic. But this isn't some internet myth or urban legend. Doctors, scientists, and nutrition experts have been warning us for years, yet so many people are still unaware. Why? Because nobody talks about this enough. And that's exactly why we're here today. In this video, I want to show you exactly what's happening behind the scenes when you reheat certain foods, the real science, the real risk, and the foods you need to be careful with, even if they seem perfectly safe on the surface. We're going to uncover 5 everyday foods, and I mean everyday, that can become dangerous, even toxic, just from reheating. I'll also break down what's happening at the molecular level, how harmful compounds form, and what you can do to protect yourself and your loved ones. But before we dive into that, let me be very clear. This video isn't about fear. It's not about making you scared of your food. It's about awareness. It's about understanding the truth behind the food on your plate and learning how to handle it safely, wisely, and in a way that supports your health for the long haul. Because food should fuel your life, not put it at risk. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll never look at your leftovers the same way again. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's get into the truth that could literally change the way you eat forever. Number 1. Rice. The silent killer. When reheated, wrong take. Now let's start with something so basic, so common, it's probably sitting in your fridge right now. Rice. Rice is one of the most consumed foods in the world, from Asia to Africa, from your mom's kitchen to your favorite takeout box. It's everywhere. We cook it in big batches, store it, and reheat it for days. Sounds harmless, right? But here's the hidden truth. Reheated rice can become toxic. You see, the danger in rice doesn't come from the rice itself. It comes from a sneaky little bacterium called Bacillus cereus. Let me explain. When rice is cooked, spores of Bacillus cereus, which are often present in uncooked rice, can survive the cooking process. Now, if that rice is left out too long at room temperature before being stored in the fridge, those spores can start to multiply. And once they do, they produce toxins. Here's the worst part. These toxins are not destroyed by reheating. So even when you microwave that rice, thinking it's safe because it's steaming hot, those dangerous toxins are still in there. And what do? They can cause severe food poisoning, leading to nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. But that's just the short-term effect. Over time, exposure to these bacterial toxins, along with the mold toxins that can develop on poorly stored rice, may increase your risk of chronic inflammation, liver stress, and even certain types of cancer. Researchers have found that aflatoxins, which can develop in grains stored improperly, are potent carcinogens, especially dangerous to the liver. Let that sink in. Your favorite leftover fried rice might be harboring invisible enemies that can't be killed by heat. And the risk is even higher if you're someone who leaves cooked rice out on the counter for hours, stores rice in large containers, where the center stays warm longer, reheats it more than once, keeps it in the fridge longer than 1-2 days. So how do you protect yourself? Here are some quick safety tips. Cool your rice within 1 hour after cooking. Don't let it sit out. Store it in shallow containers, so it cools evenly and quickly. Keep it in the fridge for no more than 1 day. Reheat only once, and make sure it's piping hot all the way through. It's simple but crucial, because rice is supposed to fuel your body, not put you in the ER or raise your long-term health risks. And all it takes is one careless moment, one forgotten pot of rice left out overnight, to invite toxins that your microwave just can't fix. Scary, right? Well, wait until you hear what's next. Number 2. Spinach, a green superfood turned nitrate nightmare. Spinach, the ultimate symbol of health. Popeye ate it. Nutritionists recommend it. Moms sneak it into everything from smoothies to pasta. It's packed with iron, fiber, antioxidants and vitamins A, C, and K. No doubt, it's a superfood. But here's a question most people never think to ask. Is spinach still healthy when you reheat it? The answer is not always. In fact, reheating spinach the wrong way can turn this leafy green from hero to health hazard, especially for infants, children, and those with certain medical conditions. The reason? Nitrates. Spinach is naturally high in nitrates, which are harmless in their original form. In fact, nitrates from vegetables are far better for you than those from processed meats. But under heat, especially when reheated, nitrates can transform into nitrites and then into nitrosamines. And nitrosamines, my friend, are a problem. They are carcinogenic, meaning they've been linked to cancer, particularly stomach and colon cancer. In some cases, nitrosamines may also contribute to cellular damage, oxidative stress, and possibly even neurodegenerative conditions like Alzheimer's. Let's break it down in simpler terms. The first time you cook spinach, the nitrates are stable. But once it's cooled and then reheated, those same compounds begin to change. And it's that second round of heat that makes all the difference. Now imagine feeding that to a toddler or someone with a compromised immune system. Even more alarming, in infants under 6 months, excess nitrites can interfere with the blood's ability to carry oxygen, leading to a rare but serious condition called blue baby syndrome. So while spinach is still a valuable food, here's what you need to remember. Use spinach in small batches to avoid leftovers entirely. Don't reheat spinach in the microwave or on the stove. Leave cooked spinach sitting out at room temperature. Serve reheated spinach to young children or infants. You might be thinking, come on, it's just spinach. But think about how often spinach shows up in lasagna, omelets, stir-fried rice, quiches, pasta sauces. If you're not mindful, those nitrate levels can quietly become a regular and dangerous part of your diet. Now imagine doing that for months, even years. This is the part no one talks about. Not because it's a conspiracy, but because it's so easy to overlook. We focus so much on what we eat. Spinach, kale, brown rice. But we rarely talk about how we prepare and reheat our food. And that's where real health begins. So next time you're about to reheat that delicious spinach frittata, take a moment. Remember, not every vegetable likes a second round in the microwave. Number 3. Potatoes. From comfort food to botulism. Riska. Potatoes. Baked, mashed, fried, roasted. They're the ultimate comfort food. Whether it's creamy mashed potatoes at Thanksgiving or crispy wedges with your favorite dipping sauce, potatoes are a beloved staple in kitchens around the world. But here's what nobody tells you. Reheating potatoes, especially the wrong way, could make you seriously sick. Let's start with a strange but true fact. Potatoes can cause botulism. Yes, you read that right, botulism. Botulism is a rare but extremely dangerous form of food poisoning, caused by a bacteria called Clostridium botulinum. This bacterium thrives in low-oxygen environments, and one of the most common culprits, foil-wrapped baked potatoes. Here's what happens. When you bake potatoes and wrap them in aluminum foil, the foil traps moisture and creates a perfect low-oxygen environment. If you leave them out at room temperature even just for a few hours, it can become a breeding ground for Clostridium botulinum. And here's the kicker. Reheating doesn't always destroy the toxin that the bacteria produce. So what starts as a cozy, buttery side dish can turn into something deadly fast. But that's not the only risk. There's another danger that forms when potatoes are reheated, especially when fried or baked at high temperatures. Acrylamide. Acrylamide is a chemical that forms in starchy foods, like potatoes, when they're cooked at high heat. Think fries, chips, hash browns. The longer and hotter they're cooked, the more acrylamide develops. This chemical has been classified by the World Health Organization and other global agencies as a potential carcinogen, meaning it may increase the risk of cancer. So if you're reheating those leftover fries or baked potatoes to get them crispy again, you might be unknowingly doubling your exposure to acrylamide. Let's recap the risks. Desca, botulism, from foil-wrapped potatoes left at room temperature, loss of nutrients and formation of oxidized fats when using oils repeatedly. And here's the most dangerous myth. If it smells fine, it's safe. Not true. Botulinum toxin doesn't always have a smell, taste, or appearance. You can't detect it. That's what makes it so dangerous. Safe practices for potato lovers. Dever. Never leave cooked potatoes, especially foil-wrapped ones, at room temperature for extended periods. Always remove the foil and refrigerate within 1 hour. When reheating, make sure they're heated all the way through, not just warm on the surface. Avoid reheating fried or crispy potatoes. It's better to eat them fresh or not at all. The truth is, the humble potato isn't trying to hurt you, but how you treat it can turn it from comforting to catastrophic. Number 4. Eggs. Protein-rich but potentially hazardous. Now let's talk about eggs. One of the most perfect, nutrient-dense foods ever created. High in protein, packed with vitamins, and incredibly versatile, eggs are a breakfast hero and a go-to ingredient in thousands of dishes. Boiled, scrambled, poached, baked. We love them all. But here's something most people have never considered. Reheating eggs can make them harmful to your health. Let's break this down. When eggs are first cooked, the proteins inside them undergo a structural change. That's normal. Heat denatures the proteins, making them easier to digest and more bioavailable. But when you reheat eggs, especially at high temperatures or more than once, those same proteins can become oxidized. This means they lose their original structure and start forming new chemical compounds, some of which can be hard to digest or even toxic to your cells. Think about it this way. The protein you were trying to get for strength and energy can now become a burden to your gut, triggering bloating, discomfort, and inflammation. But it doesn't stop there. There's also concern about sulfur compounds in eggs, particularly the yolk. When reheated, especially in a microwave or at high heat, these compounds can break down into harmful byproducts, including hydrogen sulfide, which gives off that signature rotten egg smell. This gas isn't just unpleasant. In large amounts, it can irritate your system. What about eggs in prepared dishes? Reheating dishes like omelets, scrambled eggs, frittatas, egg fried rice, egg sandwiches can amplify this risk, especially when combined with other high-nitrate vegetables like spinach, onions, or processed meat. It's a toxic combo when reheated improperly. And let's not forget the salmonella risk if eggs are undercooked or stored incorrectly before reheat. Reheating can give you a false sense of security, but if the egg wasn't handled safely to begin with, you're still at risk, especially if you just warm it up instead of thoroughly cooking it. Here's what the experts suggest. If you're cooking eggs, eat them fresh whenever possible. Avoid reheating scrambled or boiled eggs, not because they're deadly every time, but because the risk builds up over time. If you must reheat eggs, use low, gentle heat, and never microwave them in plastic or sealed containers. Avoid adding eggs to dishes that you plan to store and reheat multiple times throughout the week. Why this matters long term. Chronic exposure to oxidized proteins and sulfur compounds can contribute to inflammation, cellular stress, and even neurological damage over time. Yes, there's early research suggesting that improperly processed proteins may contribute to cognitive decline. So when we talk about protecting your brain from things like dementia, even something as simple as reheating your eggs the wrong way can play a small but meaningful role. So the next time you think about nuking that egg sandwich from yesterday, maybe pause. Ask yourself, is it really worth the risk? Number 5. Chicken. A protein bomb that can backfire. Chicken is one of the most popular and praised sources of lean protein out there. If you're into fitness, weight loss, or healthy eating, chances are chicken breast is your go-to. It's low in fat, rich in nutrients, and easy to prepare in 100 different ways. But here's the scary truth. Reheating chicken, especially the wrong way, can seriously mess with your body. Let's break down why. It all starts with the proteins. When chicken is first cooked, the protein structure changes, just like with eggs, to become digestible. That's normal, but once you reheat it, especially at high temperatures or multiple times, those proteins can change again. And this time, they become harder to digest and can even form compounds that are harmful to your gut and your cells. Some studies have shown that repeatedly heating protein-rich foods like chicken can create oxidized proteins, the kind your body doesn't recognize or know how to break down. The result, inflammation in the gut. That's the toxic byproducts circulating through your bloodstream, and over time, cellular damage that may contribute to chronic diseases, including cancer and neurodegenerative conditions. But that's just the beginning. Let's talk bacteria. Chicken is infamous for carrying bacteria like Salmonella, Campylobacter, Listeria. If you don't store or reheat your chicken properly, these bacteria can multiply, and the toxins they release can survive reheat, especially if the meat wasn't cooked evenly or thoroughly to begin with. And if you microwave your chicken, that's where the danger skyrockets. Microwaves heat food unevenly, often leaving cold spots where bacteria can thrive. So even if the outside is hot, the inside might still be a breeding ground for illness. And then there's cancer. You've probably heard of HCAs, heterocyclic amines, and PAHAs, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon. These cancer-linked compounds are created when meat is cooked at high heat. Think grilling, frying, or searing. But here's what many don't know. Reheating those grilled or fried chicken pieces can boost the HCA and PAHA levels even further, especially if the surface is charred or brown. These compounds have been shown in multiple studies to contribute to DNA mutations, tumor growth, colon and pancreatic cancer risk. So your meal prep chicken, if not handled properly, could go from clean protein to carcinogen real fast. Here's how to stay safe. They always cook chicken to 155 to 74 degrees to kill bacteria, no shortcuts. Cool it down within an hour and refrigerate quickly. Reheat only once and make sure it's steaming hot all the way through. Avoid reheating grilled or fried chicken over and over again. The more times you cook it, the higher the risk. And remember, it's not just about getting sick today. It's about what you're building up in your body over time. Because food is either fuel or poison. And with chicken, the line can be razor thin if you're not careful. At this point, you might be wondering, why does reheating food cause so many problems? After all, food is food, right? Heat is just heat. Wrong. To understand the danger, we have to go deeper into the science of what really happens to your food when you reheat it. Let's start with the basics. Heat changes molecules. Every time you cook food, you're causing chemical reactions. Proteins break down, fats oxidize, sugars caramelize, nutrients degrade. That's cooking, and it's what gives food its flavor, aroma, and texture. But when you reheat food, especially over and over, you're triggering secondary reactions. And that's where things go wrong. Here are some of the main offenders. Oxidized proteins and fats. When protein-rich foods like chicken, eggs, or beef are reheated multiple times, the proteins can become denatured beyond recognition. This means your body has a harder time digesting them, and they may even become pro-inflammatory. The same goes for fat. When fats are heated repeatedly, especially unsaturated oils, they can oxidize and produce free radicals, which damage your cells and tissues. Free radicals have been linked to heart disease, cancer, formation of carcinogenic compounds. As mentioned earlier, high-temperature cooking and reheating can create compounds like acrylamide in starchy foods, HCAs in meats, TAs in grilled or smoked items. These aren't just maybe bad. They're recognized by the World Health Organization as probable carcinogens. That means they have a proven link to cancer in animal studies and increasing concern in human studies. Loss of nutritional value. Reheating food, especially in the microwave, can cause the breakdown of enzymes B and C, antioxidants, enzymes your body needs to digest and absorb food. So even if you're eating healthy leftover, you may be getting only a fraction of the nutrients you think you are. When certain plastics are heated, they release BPA, bisphenol A, and phthalates, which are endocrine disruptors. These chemicals interfere with your hormones, increase the risk of infertility, obesity, thyroid issues, and yes, even cancer. Nitrate to nitrite conversion. We touched on this earlier with spinach, but this is true for all nitrate-rich foods like leafy greens, beets, celery, carrots. When reheated, Nitrates convert to nitrite and then to nitrosamines, a carcinogenic compound that's also been linked to neurological disorders. Number 7. Safe food practices that can save your life. By now your head might be spinning. You're probably thinking, wait, I've reheated rice, eggs, chicken, potatoes, and spinach 100 times. Am I doomed? Let me reassure you, no, you're not. This video isn't about fear, it's about empowerment. You don't need to panic. You don't need to throw away all your leftovers. You just need to know how to handle food with care, respect, and a little more intention. Because the truth is, your kitchen can heal you or harm you, and the difference lies in what you do after the cooking is done. So here's how to make your meals safe, nourishing, and smart, without sacrificing convenience. This is the danger zone where bacteria like Bacillus cereus, Salmonella, and Clostridium botulinum thrive. Quick tip: divide large batches into shallow containers so they cool faster in the fridge. Store leftovers in airtight glass containers. Plastic containers can leach chemicals when heated. Go for glass or stainless steel instead. Avoid wrapping food in foil for storage, especially potatoes. Label your leftovers with the date. Most foods are safest within 24-48. Reheat only once. Every time you reheat food, it loses nutrients and may form more toxins. Try to only reheat what you'll eat, and never return heated food to the fridge. Heat thoroughly, not just warm. Don't settle for lukewarm leftovers. Reheat until steaming hot all the way through, at least 105 F 74 degrees C internally. Stir halfway through if using a microwave to prevent cold spots. For meats, use a food thermometer. It's a simple tool that could save your health. 5. Rethink the microwave. Microwaves are convenient, but they heat unevenly, which can leave dangerous bacteria alive. Use a pan or oven when possible. If using a microwave, cover food loosely, stir frequently, and rotate if needed. 6. Know which foods are best eaten fresh. Avoid reheating high-risk items like spinach, eggs, dogs, chicken, potatoes in foil, fried foods. Instead, enjoy them fresh, or eat leftovers cold if it's safe to do so. Example: use cooked spinach cold in a salad or smoothie. Add leftover boiled eggs to cold sandwiches instead of reheating. 7. Plan smarter. Cook smarter. If you meal prep, design your meals with safe reheating in mind. Avoid mixing all ingredients in one box if some spoil faster or reheat poorly. Keep proteins, veggies, and grains in separate containers. Reheat only what you need. Bonus tip: listen to your body. Sometimes your body knows before you do. If something smells odd, tastes off, or just feels wrong, don't eat. No matter how nutritious it once was, no meal is worth risking your health. 7. In the end, food safety isn't about rules. It's about respect. Respect for the food that nourishes you. Respect for your body that depends on. Respect for the process that turns ingredients into healing, life-giving fuel. You have more power than you think, and it starts with what you do after dinner's cooked. Conclusion: awareness is power. Protect yourself and your loved ones. Let's take a breath. You've just learned a lot, maybe more than you ever expected about the leftovers in your fridge. But that's a good thing, because knowledge is power, and awareness is the first step to real, lasting change. Here's the truth: no one tells us. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. Every bite sends a message to your body, telling it to heal, grow, or fight disease. But when we don't understand how food works after it's cooked, we unknowingly turn something healthy into something harmful. Rice, spinach, potatoes, eggs, chicken. These are everyday foods, not exotic or strange. But even the most innocent ingredients can become dangerous if we ignore the science. This isn't about fear. This is about freedom. The freedom to eat confidently, to cook smarter, to protect yourself and the people you love. Because imagine this: no more mystery stomach aches after last night's leftovers. No more brain fog caused by hidden food toxins. No more silent damage building up over time. Just clean energy, strong digestion, a clear mind, and peace of mind. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Reheating is not the enemy, but mindless reheating is. Your kitchen is your pharmacy. What you do with food can either prevent disease or invite it. You don't need to overhaul your life. You just need to make smarter, simpler choices consistently. You now have the knowledge. The choice is yours. So the next time you reach for that leftover meal, ask yourself, am I reheating this to nourish my body or to risk it? Because when you know better, you do better. And when you do better, your body thanks you. Your future thanks you. Your family thanks you.